Hi everyone, this is an adult game for adults. Hey guys, so I do a let's try of another furry visual novel approximately every week-ish when I don't not do that. But today well, not today. It's October, it's Halloween horror month, so I figured that I'll probably try to pick horror-themed ones for each of the weeks this month. But I'm doing it blind, so I can only guess based on the iconography and games saying the word horror sometimes. This one claims to be a horror mystery game, so I'm gonna check this one out next. It's also interesting because it seems to not be made in Ren'Py. It's you launch it out with an executable that's just on its own instead of like getting a whole Ren'Py folder, and like this whole interface definitely feels like it's running on something I'm not used to. So this is kind of neat to see. We have someone standing out a bit. We're playing Identity, and there goes that sound. It's like a little jarring to go from all that to nothing. Something's gone terribly wrong. You cling to that thought, that lingering final thread, too thin to hold you above this empty void. You fall, abandoned in the dark. In time, you find the urge to struggle, like some animal driven only by instinct, for something, anything to spare you from this fate. Your eyes open at last. You discover yourself surrounded by trees, shrouded in the night's waning cover. Dawn approaches, but you remain well in the dark on who you are and why you're even here. This place feels distant, foreboding, yet familiar to you. The connection you feel is like a rope tying you to this place, an umbilical cord connecting you to this life. There's more, though. Something is screaming at you to run, to fly away from here. Your head is then racked with shooting pain. There's a pull on your mind, as if a blunt object is trying to push its way out of your skull. You don't belong in here, a screech fills your ears, drawing you to crumple to the ground and squeeze your eyes shut. The next thing you hear is a squelching right by your head. The pain is unbearable at this point. Leaves rustle nearby as you feel like something is stabbing through your skull, leaving you nauseous and incapable of doing anything other than huddling up in a ball. Then, as the pain abates, you hear something slither off. After what feels like hours, you're able to open your eyes again. The forest is unchanged. However, you feel different. You feel lighter. Your head more focused and your mind increasingly aware of your surroundings. You feel at home. You're soon back on your feet, brushing yourself off as you look around. A grin dusts your muzzle as you take a deep breath. You then find your legs moving, almost on their own, drawing you to wander about these old trees. There's a strange, almost impish glee in trekking through these unsettling woods, your scaled feet almost happy to move along the dew-damp cold earth obscured by dawn's fog. Half of you wants to wallow in this dark space, while another grows ever more desperate for familiar warmth. The air is filled with the ambience of creaking wood and shuffling of leaves, all while you feel a tingling breeze. As you wander through the haunting woods, you glance up. You see silky webs that thread through the limbs of the trees that claw at the sky above. Dew also drips from these fibers, giving them a shiny, almost metallic hue. With no clue as to what could have entangled the trees, you hurry along. You soon stumble upon the closest thing resembling a landmark in this endless forest. A large oak tree towers in the center of a shrouded glade. You reach out to touch the old wood. It has no marks. It seems like nothing but a simple tree. Oop, I accidentally hit a direction at some point. Oh, look at the birds. It was not there a second ago? Let's see. Okay, I don't know if you can rewind in this, actually. You nearly jump out of your hide, backing away. You see an unkindness of ravens perched on the oak's branches, all dead silent, all staring at you. Were they there before? What'd you miss? They continue to glare at you for what feels like an eternity, their glassy black eyes transfixed on you. Then, they all start to cry out. You cover your ears. Did you upset them? Instinct drives you to back away, but they only get louder when you do. Then it hits you. They aren't staring at you anymore. Hands still cupped over your ears, you wheel around. The ravens go silent. While the forest ambience might have begun to calm you before, you now see something that sends ice down your spine. Hi. How you doing? Here comes a dinosaur. Like a tree dinosaur thing. I don't know. It's got hair. It looks like it has wood. Before you towers a hulking monster of root and bone, like an avatar of nature. It barely resembles any living thing. Its head is a reptile's skull, socketed in place with vines and twigs. You stare, paralyzed, at the horror's charcoaled skull. It stares back, straight through you, before it falls to its haunches, its body creaking from the motion like ancient wood. Then it lets out the loudest, most mournful wail you have ever had the displeasure of experiencing. Many ravens flap up in response, the horror beyond even their own morbid interest. You back away from the monster, and in an instant, its howls turn from despair to anger. Its limbs jankily crawl across the ground, movement coming difficult as its joints pop and groan in protest. The thing's empty skull is zeroed in on you, those strange limbs doing all they can to pick up speed as roots from nearby trees slither towards you. Your instinct takes hold. Your legs bolt you away before you can even muster a screech of terror. The ravens cry out again, hardly drowning out the howls of your pursuer. The popping, straining sounds of its limbs grow louder, the beast dead set on you. Even as you glance back, the horrible sight of the thing's hitched movements draws you to pick up speed, pure adrenaline saving you. You have no idea where you're going. You just run and run and run, desperate for something, anything that'll get you away from this thing. Help! Someone! Anyone, please! Oop. You feel a sweltering heat inside you, like boiling water filling you up. Anxiousness and fear take hold of you as your body goes into overdrive. Tears fill your eyes, fear overwhelming you as the sound of popping joints gets closer and closer. You're sobbing in terror as you crunch the leaves under your feet, bolting around trees, smashing through bushes. You do anything, everything your frightful mind can think of to stay alive just a little bit longer. You run, and then air meets your feet. You're suddenly filled with weightlessness. The earth is gone. Your feet are falling, and falling, and falling. Yet not meeting anything solid. You tumble and twist, hands and feet clipping against dirt and rocks. Pain fills your limbs, your hands, your feet. A dull throb fills your skull as the pain saturates your mind. A thunk rings out, and then you're out. A black void once more consumes you. It fills, surrounds, suffocates. You thrash and struggle, but the void holds tight. You shout and screech, but the void does not relent. There's no safety, no light. And then your eyes fly open, dim light filling your mind as you crawl frantically across the ground. Your legs barely work. Your arms barely drag you, but you manage. You claw and push yourself forward. Through brush and ditches, mud and dirt, you keep going. When you finally collapse under all that is bearing down on you, your mind lightens. Your fear gives way to reason and thought. You find it easier to prop yourself up without all the terror draining you. The energy doesn't come quite as easily. All you can manage is to lean against a nearby tree, focusing on controlling your breathing and reducing the burning in your lungs. With your breathing in control, and your energy slowly returning, you can finally take in your surroundings. The first thing you notice is that it's brighter here. The shy sun far more visible. Before you lies a small meadow, mountains stretching into the distant horizon. Again, you can't help but wonder where you might be, at least until your thoughts are pierced by fear once more. You turn around to look back where you came, and up the incline you tumbled down. Nothing. No one. You're alone, at least for now. Whatever that beast was, why it wanted you, those are questions that can wait. For now, you're just happy you can't see it, even as you realize that it's almost more terrifying to have no clue where danger may strike from again. Okay, to take a moment, that's 3 things in the sky, so something's up with this location. Look at all this. Oh, 4 things, it's the sun. Sorry. I start yawning when I read too much dialogue, or not dialogue, but when I read game text unbroken for too long, I start yawning because I just like don't regulate my breathing correctly. Whoops. So it looks like a sun and 3 moons or nearby planets or something, although like I don't think a planet could be that close in the sky without being much smaller Earth. But you know, fiction, so who cares? That's a lot of moons, though. All nearby, too. Has me thinking of the Great Conjunction from the Dark Crystal and stuff. Like, they're all about to line up in a few days or something. And then you hear the howling. But you're not sure if that's just ringing in your ears. It didn't fall off, like you. It may very well still be coming. With a modicum of energy recovered, you push off the tree and head out. Everything is more open here, more free. So much so that you barely watch where you're going, and nearly smack face first into a... door? Yeah, that'd be odd. Just standing there, in the middle of nowhere, frame and all. You start to doubt there is any real sense of normality here at all. You stare in confusion at this strange fixture. A flapping from behind then causes you to duck your head. It's another raven. As it perches on the top of the door's frame, you can tell something is up. It must be the fattest, most unkempt raven you've ever seen. Even if that brings an almost comedic thought to your mind, it still strikes you as a disconcerting image. Whereas the other ravens had black eyes, this one's shine with a sickly orange light that almost makes the rest of the bird hard to see. The sun hangs in the sky behind the raven. The sun itself half hides behind the mountains, which leaves only a little light to drape across this unkempt thing. The dim light just further entrances you to the bird before you. It caws at you, then pecks at the door, then caws again. Ooh. Look around. It's a little hard to focus on the surroundings with this bird pestering you. Given the situation, you should probably hurry, but a look can't hurt, right? There's a cool mountain breeze blowing in, and crisp, dew-wet grass clings to your feet. It'd be a calming experience if not for the horror chasing you. You hear faint, rushing water in the distance. Much like before, as you survey the scenery, this place fills you with a profound longing. You focus on that scene, on that sense, but it only leads you to heartache. There's something so meaningful to you here. Something pulling at your heart, your mind. You could get lost here. Besides your thoughts, besides the pull of it all, there's nothing truly remarkable about the glade before you. Then you look up. Some part of your lizard brain compels you to drop to the ground, to duck your head to avoid what's there. You see 2, no, 3 planets just floating up there in the sky. The planets vary in size and mix of colors. One is like a pink and white whirlwind of clouds. Another is merely a barren marble. The third is almost familiar with its blue seas and green continents. They are far too close, however, and it feels like whatever force compels them to remain in the sky will give away any second now, and they'll come crashing right down on you. You're beginning to get vertigo, and so you glance away. For some reason, you don't remember noticing them before, given the sheer terror of your first experiences here. You can't feel too surprised. Survival comes first, no matter where you may be. The raven lets out a loud caw, snapping your attention away from your observations. It's best you don't look up again. You take a second to catch your breath. There's nowhere else you can see yourself running to. However irrational, the door is probably the best option, assuming it's not a trap. That's interesting that they made this choices. I understand on some level the idea of wanting to cut down the amount of narration or explanation for people that might not want it or something, but like, I think it's relatively vital to establish that your character doesn't know about those moons, the suns, and the planets in the sky. Because like, until now, we had no reason to think that wasn't unusual. It's unusual for us, but it's like, that's just the setting, I guess. But now we know our character's not from this setting, and they're surprised to see that. So having that be optional, if you could just go straight to the door, seems like it'd be confusing to skip over that information. Its placement notwithstanding, it's just a door. It's made of wood. There's nothing of note on the opposite side of it. It's got a certain allure to its design, but beyond a strange pull, there's nothing else to it. The raven perched on it stares at you for a moment before tapping its beak on the door frame, then staring back at you. It looks impatient. It's very eager to get you to open the door. Is that because it wants to help you, or because it has something else in mind? Your gut compels you not to trust such a creature, but there's also a strange thrill at the notion of seeing what it has in store for you. You lean in close and take a peek. Through the window, you see the other side of the glade. That's it. The raven pecks you on the head. It has no patience for your apparent foolishness. This is, at the very least, a perfect time to take a closer look at the bird. Then you notice its top appears to be painted with a white ash-like substance, almost resembling a skunk's stripe. You reach for the handle, at first hesitant before throwing caution to the wind and just grabbing the thing. Oops. It feels like you just grabbed hot coal, a shriek of pain tearing from your maw. How's this happening? Somehow selecting the wrong thing? You pull back and stare at your hand, expecting a burn. Your scales look fine, but there's nothing there. The raven just caws at you and pecks at the door again. For the next several seconds, you play a bit of a game, where you try to open the door as quickly as possible. After a number of attempts, you realize the door won't open at all. Then you hear it, that sickening howl. You turn to face it, and there the monster is, at the far end of the glade. The raven starts madly cawing at you, barely heard over this fresh terror. Commit to the door or bail on the door plan? I guess let's find out. Let's commit to the door. Pain be damned, you grab that thing and pull. The agony is immense, and the door still won't budge. You look back. The monster is barreling straight towards you. You turn to the door. The raven is now flapping next to it, pecking wildly at it in what you can only assume is some feeble attempt to help you. You keep pulling as hard as you can. The monster's chill howl gets louder with each passing second, until it feels like it's screaming directly into your ear. The raven flies behind the door. You're just about to give in before you feel a metal click. The door swings wide open, blinding you with a bright light. You don't have any time to gather your bearings. It's right behind you. You bolt onward. A chest-high railing is stopping you from advancing, and you clamber halfway over it before you realize your fatal mistake. Ugh. Yeah, that'd be bad. Don't do that. That would in fact be a mistake. So is this a new location, or did we wake up, or... You just tried crawling off of a balcony. The height is dizzying. You see only trees and concrete and the occasional wandering specks of what might be people far, far below you. You're desperate to reverse your descent, but it's too late. You feel yourself toppling forward, and you feel like you only have a second to come to terms with your doom before something grabs your leg. Fight for freedom? Wait, what? I don't know what these options mean, actually. So someone grabbed our leg. It could be the monster, but wait, did we close the door, actually? I feel like we closed the... You'd hope we would close the door. So you think the thing that grabbed us would be somebody who happened to be in this room that's saving us. But these two things are confusing. Fight for freedom sounds like you're fighting off the thing grabbing your leg, which sounds like a great way to fall off the ledge that you're currently falling off of. But embrace the void. People call falling off ledges and so on like they call that the call of the void. So I'm like, wait, aren't these both the same thing? I'm not sure what these mean. I don't know. Embrace the void? This whole ordeal is too much for you. You feel like you're going to pass out, and you don't care if the monster finally caught you. You cover your eyes and banish the frightening landscape. So embrace the void is close your eyes and give up? Okay, so we were meant to think the monster grabbed us, I guess. Those are very confusingly phrased choices, though. I didn't know what either of them meant. And I'm still... I can only retroactively I can only retroactively interpret what they mean after getting the results. Don't worry, I got you. Wherever that voice came from, it doesn't sound like it had come from your pursuer. It sounds deep, confident, but you're too paralyzed with fear to inspect the source. You're dragged back over the railing. They grab you by one of your arms, wrenched from your face as it's pulled, but your eyes are still shut tight. There's a bit of a fumbling around, but soon you're planted firmly on the ground. What do you think you're doing? You nearly got yourself killed. You can't respond. Your eyes are open now, but you're too whiplashed and confused. He's huge! Wrong voice. I had no idea what we're dealing with. This is I need to figure out this exact style of, like, how do you draw men entirely out of circles and ovals? That's the trick, but I can't figure it out. Drawing's too hard. Before you towers a man of pure muscle, and he's none too happy to see you. It might be a little embarrassing, but you just stare up at him. He looks frustrated, but he takes a second to look away, cool down, and set his eyes on you again. Are you hurt? Can you understand what I'm saying? You nod at the second question. You haven't the faintest clue about the first. Can you tell me your name? Mine's Garreth. It's odd. You almost feel like you don't know how to speak, but it's there. Who are you? At least a name. It must be somewhere in your head. You can't quite latch onto anything. I don't know. You don't know? No, I don't know. Don't remember anything. So you just barrel over a balcony? How'd you even get out here? Garreth slides over to the door, gesturing towards the handle. It's locked. There's a latch on the balcony side for locking it. No, I didn't see the edge. I was running for something from something chasing me. Haha. Sounds like sounds like you've been taking some serious shit. What'd you get into? You just stare at him. And this mess. Did you wrestle a house plant or something? Garreth indicates to the floor and you. There's dirt and mud everywhere. Some clings to you, some peels from your form and falls to the floor. Your head begins to throb as you focus on remembering your past, or even just your name. It's a good thing you did. Anyways, I just had to follow your trail to find you. He looks exasperated, but your head is still spinning from the ordeal. Alright. You have, maybe an ID or something? You haven't the faintest clue, but by reflex you reach into your back pocket of your desecrated pants. You pull out a wallet, open it, and there's a piece of plastic with a name on it. Garreth takes the wallet, takes one look at your ID, and just rolls his eyes. I should have guessed. Yarin Nyrok. He hands back the wallet. That's us. We're a dinosaur. We got a head fringe. Which part was the I should have guessed? Oh, we're an iguana. Right, I recognized that we were an iguana on the start screen, but then I forgot, because it's been almost half an hour since then. Born July 15th, 2000 M17? Wait. What's the M mean? So we have no idea how this works. What are the years and whatnot. They got this ID when they were 21 and it'll expire when they're 31. And there's a little hollow foil looking thing to help verify and make it harder to fake. The ID does indeed say in that name, right next to what you presume is your face. So we don't even know what we look like. You're the one Kovle's looking for. You walk okay? You have no idea who this Kovle person is, or anything for that matter, but you do ready yourself all the same. Garreth grabs you by the shoulder and guides you out of the balcony area. It's unclear whether he's being helpful or if he's afraid you'll try jumping off again. What's that necklace you're wearing? Garreth points to your chest and as he closes the balcony door, you're wearing some kind of charm made of twigs, feathers, and bone. Reminds you of that monster. Fear overtaking your being, you grip at the necklace. You squeeze as if trying to break it, and even as you pull at it, and even begin to pull at it, but something makes you hesitate, makes you contemplate its importance. Fear can't help you. Looks like Duskin crap. I guess you got it from some weird cult party and tried drinking the punch. Duskin? None of this rings a bell to you, which doesn't seem to concern Garreth. Well, you're not telling him, who has no doubt come to accept your ignorance. It's not like he has a choice in that front, anyway. You find yourself in a lavish hallway. The place is wholly decked out with intricate lights on the ceiling and plush carpet along the floor. The only thing sticking out of is the trail of dirt that leaves you behind. Garreth leads you down the hall until you reach an elevator. While he calls the elevator, you glance along the trail you left. Deciding to follow it, at least until the elevator arrives, you walk into a dimly lit stairwell. There's not much of interest in here besides your telltale trail. Your eyes trace along that path of dirt and debris as it descends down the stairs and out of sight. Peeking over the railing, you can see bits of it dotting several layers of stairs. You really left a reminder of your trip. You also notice some sticks twirled together a few levels down. You would have missed it if not for the slight movement, the jerking ascent. It looks like someone is dragging it slowly up the stairs with them. The wooden limb hangs over the railing as it slowly gets further up the stairs. At a corner, you lose sight of it, and then you hear a loud bang. Instantly, you jump back. run to the door and yank it open. Bolting back to the elevator, you bump straight into Garreth. If you're gonna keep this up, I'm just going to call the police. Maybe they can keep up with your shenanigans. Look at this background here. So it's all dragons, very ornate. VIP only elevator. Oh, right to left, okay. 30 floors. Numbered right to left is a trip. Are those all wall slats for even more lights? There's like an obliterated plant down here. Sorry, let's just go. Garreth then leads you back to the elevator. The elevator dings. The door now open to you. Even more dragons. Holy shit, they're having on the theme. Look at the little kobold! Just for a split second, I thought he was a hyena. Like, then I saw the more defining details. He just has... Kobolds have hyena energy, is what I'm learning. It's just posture and expression is enough. And then I noticed the details. I'm like, oh, right. No fur apparent, except for the hair that looks like fur at the back. Ears with little lines on them. The bat nose, the big scaly tail, obviously. An intense amount of dragon iconography. Also just like very high effort backgrounds. Like actually in general, like the art is really committed in this game. It's intimidating. You follow Garreth into the elevator. You immediately notice the lavish details that line its interior and the lift attendant. He's a kobold, about a head or two shorter than you. They're as stoic as a stone statue, and even when they see your abhorrent state. Lobby. The attendant responds by pulling an antiquated-looking lever. This place may be extremely well off. It must be extremely well off, especially if they can afford to have someone just stand here and pull a lever on command. Of course, the decorations also scream wealth quite loudly. There's nothing that gives you any clues to your location. That only makes you wonder even more. You're given plenty of time to ponder all this, all while draped in awkward silence, going down, down. So, this is the VIP elevator. Anyway, the end. In case you couldn't read on the way in. The elevator suddenly lurches to a stop and dings. The door opens, and quite an intimidating sight awaits on the other side. That's just a whole ass snake. One entire regular ass snake. Hello? Got decorations on the tip of its tail and the tip of its neck, which is probably the only places where that really fits without getting in trouble. Its back scales are like pixely, like they're solid edges. They kind of look like razor blades, actually. Yeah, it looks like it's covered in razor blades, kind of. Interesting look. It's got things coiled around its neck and tail. And the rest of it probably just gets too much friction to do stuff like that with. Okay, so this setting is moving quickly. An immense serpent is waiting there, with their head about a third of their body erected over the floor, accompanied by a small, very nervous-looking kobold. Thankfully, the serpent doesn't bother trying to see if they can fit in the elevator with you. I'll take the next one. Just gonna tease that for later. That's one strategy. There's always the question of, like, how do you rapidly introduce as much as you can to a story to build intrigue and make you wonder about, like, the characters or the settings or what's going on. This one's doing what's kind of a classic, which is just to have amnesia and have you not know what's going on, so everything's alien to you. But it is also just, like, bombarding us with imagery and questions and so on. Like, so, we were in the woods, something fucked with our brain, and we went from panicked to calm for some reason. We were acting like we were familiar with those woods, which is weird too. But then a monster chased us. We fell off I assume like a cliff, basically. And then suddenly we're in a place with 5 moons? Or, sorry, it was 3 planets and a sun and so on. What was with the calm part earlier? Why are we not calm now? No longer on autopilot. Floating door. door that opens to a different place. So it's not just a door that's here for no reason. It's specifically like a dimension door nonsense thing happening. Alright, well here's dragon people. And here's an entire dragon facility. You got up here somehow, so teleporting exists. Also snakes exist. This is like the constant bombarding of stuff. It's like, it can be overwhelming, but it can also just be an interesting way of just being like, here's a bunch of shit, just like immersing you in like the strangeness of the thing and making you want to play more to learn about all these things to some extent. Like the last game I played, oh god, what was it called? Love Exalt. That game was wild, and it had a similar, just unhinged intro where you're like, you're mind reading people, and there's mini games happening in order to do dialogue. You're at a train station, but it's a train murder mystery. There's a talking cat, just regular cat that's adorable and tiny and talks to you. There seems to be like Homestuck characters wandering around, and just it got stranger and stranger more quickly. Everyone was named after the class that they are, like in an RPG. And we're referring to each other in that sense, and it became clear over time that video game mechanics applied to other stuff. Like, you guys should check that out, by the way. I Love Exalt was last week's furry visual novel Let's Try, and it was the least viewed Let's Try I've uploaded in like 2 or 3 years, I think. Just completely missed it, and like everyone who watched it thought it was really interested in it because it's just really weird. And so everyone should just open a tab real quick and look up that video real quick, because you probably didn't see it. I don't know if I just didn't have like a good enough thumbnail for like the meta or whatever, but it blew right past people. Like their eyes like just slid right off of it, I guess. And it's just a weird video, and I would like to see, you should, I think it's just entertaining to see me discover what the fuck I was looking at over the course of that hour. Anyway. There's also just a playlist in the description for the Let's Tries in general, where you can watch now just dozens and dozens of them, so be sure to check out that playlist sometime to just learn about a whole lot of indie games. That's what these all functionally are. A very specific subgenre of indie games, which I am continually shocked by just how many people have made. It is a low barrier to entry to make compared to other video games, but it's still just it is a commitment to make that kind of stuff, so that's impressive. In this case, just the heart. In this case too, like, holy shit, the art. Some of these games really knock it out of the park there. I imagine we're starting to establish backgrounds that probably reoccur, because I can't imagine having this much stamina to keep making new backgrounds constantly without ever revisiting them, because at some point you'd have to make a whole new painting for every 5 minutes of the story, and that'd be a nightmare. The door closes again. Both Garreth and the attendant let out a sigh of relief. There's more awkward silence, and Garreth cracks under it. I don't use this often. It always smells a bit weird. No offense. Garreth seems to be talking to the bellhop, who doesn't even flinch. It stings your nostrils a bit when you really take a hard sniff. It smells like overpriced cologne, though how you know that is a concern. Don't worry about it, you're just probably gay. Which, just baseline assumption. The elevator finally reaches the main floor, sparing you from a potential existential crisis over remembering cologne. I guess if your memory is gone, it might be really alarming to remember anything, and smells and music and stuff like that are supposed to like really distinctly make memories come at you like that. And so if you're, it probably would be really unnerving to have a part of your brain that's like tugging at memories kind of, but you can't find them. As Garreth leads you out of the elevator and down the lobby's open hallway, you glance back at your bellhop friend. He's grimacing, kicking out some of the dirt before the elevator door closes. As you approach the front counter, you spy a large, impatient dragon behind it. Oh, thank heavens. Is this the guy? Yeah. Nearly fell off a balcony, this guy. There's something very... that's Kovle. Kovle Choar. There's something funny about having the nameplate be exactly where the nameplate is in the visual novel, but in the background. Slightly unfortunate placement where you have to just kind of manually check it like that. You're Kovle? Hey, we're doing the thing where our character has sprites. I always like it when that happens. We've got a skull shirt. We've got a hoodie. There's a little eye on the... No, that's the necklace, isn't it? So it's mostly hidden by all the other stuff we're wearing. Obviously. Why wouldn't you know that? So this is just a straight up Eastern dragon, like, giant neck. It's probably not anthro, like, as in, like, which people refer to as, like, when somebody just is a human-shaped person that just happens to have animal face and maybe animal feet and hands and stuff. It probably is shaped like a lot of the dragons, like this, like, you know, like a dragon-shaped body is what I'm getting at. What are you doing back there? He says he's got amnesia. Did I say that? We don't remember stuff. I don't remember if I actually specifically said that, though. That I lost all my memories. Maybe I lost it. As if we don't have enough problems as it is. I can take it from here. You can go back to whatever it is you do. I can't wear shirts because my chest is covered in spikes. Kovle gestures Garreth away. Garreth furrows his brow at him in response, but quietly leaves you with Kovle. I don't know what you've been up to, and frankly, I don't want to know. You're needed at the gym. Your friend is waiting for you. Maybe I should see a doctor? One thing at a time. Your shenanigans have left me in damage control mode, and I can't afford to let your friend wreak havoc on my property. I'm forced to assume that shenanigans is just popular slang in this universe because both of them have said it in like within 30 seconds of each other. What's going on? Where am I? In reverse order, you're at the Heaven's Peak Resort. Your friend is making a mess of my gym. You need to calm him down, and I would assume he knows more about you than I do. Where's the gym? Down the hall, second door to your left. Follow the noise. Kovle half gestures in the direction you need to go. His attention is fixated on a set of papers he's reviewing. What's he doing in the gym? Taking his anger out of my property, as far as I can tell. I haven't the time or a heart to check for myself. Your anxiety only grows at Kovle's response. Your property? You own this place? Indeed. Or at least whatever will be left of it if you don't get a move on. Is he dangerous? If he is, then deal with it yourself. If I have to intervene, the outcomes will be far worse for both of you. He doesn't even look up at you as he tells you this. The whole setup gives you a very bad feeling. So bad, in fact, that you need a moment to gather yourself before you head in the indicated direction. Be quick and... What are you tracking all over my carpet? Your slow pace picks up, and you quickly scurry around the corner before you invite any more of the dragon's ire. So I take it we were here already, and then we somehow ended up in this other world or setting where the monster attacks us, and something fucked with our brain there. So when we found our way back via the doors, we don't have our memory, but everyone knows us already. So either we were here already and just don't remember because of whatever happened to us in the woods, or we have taken over someone's brain, because we never learned what we look like. We were told that we felt grass on our feet, but we never were told what our feet look like. We don't know if we were an iguana yet. So we might have gone through the door into someone's brain, which is weird. But maybe that's why that space was so nonsensical. Like maybe it wasn't a literal location. So that could be interesting to unpack too. Pow, smash. Exercise room. No breathing fire. Yes, washing hands. Don't drop weights on your tail, and don't eat here. You hear the inside of the gym before you see it. Your stomach lurches with the sickening sound of something heavy impacting a wall. Someone else is looking in by the door. Oh, jeez. That's the second one. You break one more and I'm gonna have to call security. I'm not joking. Whoever this person is, he looks like a lifeguard, but you're not sure why that word came to you so quickly. He finally notices your approach while you're lost in thought. Okay, so we don't seem surprised by anyone's appearance. We don't recognize ourselves, but we don't seem to be like, whoa, dragons and stuff, and dinosaurs and lizards. Sorry, gym's closed? You give him a questioning look as he goes back to glaring into the gym. He seemingly notices this, and he introduces himself moments later. I'm Cedric, by the way. I like the music. It's extremely video gamey, but it's fun. We've got a missing person. This guy's boyfriend disappeared. I'm in damage control while we look for them, whoever they are. Must be a real catch. I wish we could catch them. You hear him muttering something under his breath. This Nyrok better at least be cute given all the destruction. He then flushes a bit as he realizes that you're still standing there. I'm the guy he's looking for. Oh. He goes from surprised, relieved, to worried again in about half a second. Do you want me to, get security? It doesn't look good in there. His concern does little to reassure you. I'm gonna level with you. I haven't the faintest clue about anything right now. This probably isn't even the scariest thing I've had to deal with today. Well, good luck in there? Whee! Cedric moves out of your way, giving you free passage into the gym. Well, here goes nothing. Your legs refuse to move, and your hands twitch, but you eventually force yourself to shuffle into the gym. Uh-huh. This is a lot of backgrounds. Like, damn. This is an amount of art where I'm just like, is the background artist also the writer or something? Because I'm like, whenever I see a ton of art in a visual novel, it's almost always because the artist is the creator and they're just doing it themselves and they don't have to pay somebody else to do it, because otherwise, Jesus Christ. What uncomfortably small screens for entertainment in this room, and they're not in the direction that's helpful for being on the treadmills, so you have to just look outside, I guess. That bag is obliterated. Whoops. By the time you enter, it's silent. There's no one here, and all you see is the destruction wreaked by the previous inhabitant, which spares you a few blissful moments of reprieve from what might come. The very destruction does little to calm you, however, as the violent capabilities of your friend are laid bare. You find what made the loud noise during your approach, a punching bag, split in two and embedded on the wall. The smell of cheap air freshener, a mask to hide the permeating musk, is only brought into your lungs through brief whiffs. The dust and debris floating through the air tickles your throat with each shallow breath, almost feeling like you're slowly smothered. Getting slowly smothered. If someone knocked you out, dragged you in here and told you this was just another part of the world you escaped, you wouldn't hesitate to believe them. Languish? You take these fleeting seconds to try and grasp anything to give you confidence, but there's nothing to reach. Your mind draws a total blank. Oops. I think I keep bumping the right stick slightly or something. I play most visual novels with the controller because it's just comfy to hold the controller and just tap A and lean back, rather than having to sit in my computer chair, hunch over the desk, and like either hold the mouse the whole time to keep clicking and just be awkwardly holding a mouse, which feels awkward, or tapping the spacebar over and over again. It's just like, it's comfier to use a controller, I think. But if you touch the sticks at all, you end up navigating the menus, and I don't know, maybe my right stick is getting loose on this thing, because it almost feels like it's happening on its own. You don't even know the name of this person. Oh my fucking god, he's huge. And he looks like a Pokemon. From one of the side rooms, out he steps, another punching bag in tow. He first eyes the rack where the bag would be hooked up, then takes one look at you and drops it. Alright. Combat music is playing. I'm pretty sure that his chest weighs more than I do. He is a Pokemon-ass character. Yeah. He's got like a rock back. He's got crystal horns on his head and his shoulders. He's got that classic, was it Digimon I'm thinking of that has the thing where like the forearms are often larger than the biceps? I think that's like a Wegurumon thing, right? And everyone has a tasteful bulge. You. The tension is too much. You nearly black out at the sight of this hulking beast's death glare. You barely manage to cling onto consciousness and merely fall flat on the floor. Thud. Please don't murder me! You'll be lucky if I don't. I'm surprised you haven't had the balls to come back. That's not the reaction I was expecting. What is he wearing? It looks expensive, but really goofy. Just the binary split color on like a, just like a vest. Like no, it's like a but it's like a tank top vest, a sleeveless dress shirt. I don't know. Is that are those his feet? Yeah, he's got, those are his legs on the side, so you can see he's wearing shorts. He's wearing like fancy shorts or something. I don't know about fancy. Well, everything's gold rimmed. He likes gold a lot. Yeah, he's walking around on all fours. He's like in gorilla mode. But his legs are huge, so it's not as easy as gorillas. You can feel the ground rumble with each step as he approaches. When he stops, the shadow of his imposing figure blankets over you. Oh god, I'm gonna die. Okay. Laying it on a bit thick there. You can see his tail a little bit. There's a lot going on with this guy. Every time he moves, you can see more of the overall geometry. He's got kind of like those, like, what's it called? Almost like a wolf mane of spikes around his neck that, like, I don't know what to call that part. The loose, it's like on wolves and stuff, it's like drawn as like loose skin and fur. Please make it quick, just snap my neck in one clean motion. Shit, calm the fuck down, man. I don't know what I did, but make it quick. You think you can run a fast one over my head like that? You know exactly what you did. I don't, I swear. One moment I'm getting chased by a monster in a forest, now I'm high up on some fancy resort, and now I'm about to be murdered by a huge beefcake. High up? You're in the VIP area? Ah! Fuck, you son of a... Ah! Okay, calm down. Holy shit, I won't murder you. You're hyperventilating at this point. The brute reaches down to stroke your back, grumbling. Breathe, you piece of shit. Ugh. I was really hoping I could rip you a new one when I found you. He's really bad at trying to calm you down, but you do eventually cool off and sit back up. I don't know what kind of game you're playing, but maybe, well, first, what happened? I don't remember anything. I don't know where I am, or who you are, or why I'm here. You look like you were shit out of a tree's You look like you were shit out of a tree's asshole. You run into the forest? Get high off some Duskin bullshit? I don't know. There were trees, and a monster with a skull for a head, and a raven on a door, and then I was dangling from a balcony. Fuck, if this is some sort of game of yours, I'll at least give you credit, it's an interesting story. It's not a game, I swear. Fine, fine, shit. He paces around, clearly losing himself in thought. What's your name? Brymror. Actually, it's probably Brymror, yeah. Brymror, you should... Alright. He continues to pace around. You're still trying to catch your breath. Well, we're fucked, right? I don't know if Brando's still around. He looks at you. You're completely silent. Then he goes back to pacing. It's possible he could still be around. I'll have to do some digging. All while we figure out your bullshit out. He lets out an audible sigh, every muscle relaxing in a cascade with that release of breath. It's hard to imagine you even have that many muscles, but as they loosen up, you feel pure, untold relief. Brym effortlessly lifts you up and sets you up on your feet, but not before getting uncomfortably close. But if I find you fucked me over, I will snap your neck just like you asked. Oh? Like I asked. You nearly fall back onto your knees, but instead you wobble like an uneven table and nod in silence. Now, follow me and get undressed. What? You're covered in shit. Don't make me drag you to the showers and undress you myself. The brute grabs his sports bag and herds you into a changing room. Unlike the wreck that was the gym, this place is pristine. At least if you ignore the musk. A pungent, vague funk hangs over the place, moist and thick, like so many of this room's prior occupants. Brym begins to undress right in front of you. He gives you a weird look after you stare at him. What are you doing? I need to shower too. What's this you're wearing? Before you can react, he snatches the amulet from your neck. Maybe he underestimates his own strength because it snaps off easily. He eyes it for a second before dangling it from the string. The thing then slips, and as he tries to catch it, he knocks it against a nearby wall, shattering it. Oh, well. Hope there's no untold consequences for that one. It's hard to tell how intentional the destruction was, but Brym looks unperturbed either way. Damn. Cheap Duskin crap. Is this how you get messed up? Ugh. Your heart lurches. You look at the shattered debris along the floor, pouting in confusion as you ponder what just happened. You don't get much time to think it over, though, as Brym stares daggers at you, his growing impatience making you wonder if you might just rip the clothes off you. Part of you finds that appealing? You peel off your shirt like a second skin, the wet mass clinging to you with an unseemly blend of dirt and sweat. Your shyness returns to you when it comes to removing your pants. Sheepish, you wheel around to face away from Brym as you take them off. Removing them feels like the same as removing your top, though in your fatigue you nearly fall over trying to pull off the crusty pants. Okay, big boy. Brym takes on a condescending tone before leading you down the room to one of the showers. The entire time you do your best to keep yourself covered up, but you can only hide so much. Here's a stall just for you. I'll be way on the other side, so you won't get scared. Hand out. He taps your shoulder ever so gently, a mocking yet patient indication of what he wants. You stare at him dumbfounded until you realize what this is. Then you stretch your hand out in front of you. He slams a bottle of body wash down on it hard enough to make you wince. Your hand then stings and tingles for a few seconds. That's a good boy. Better wash between your claws, because if you don't, I'll have to get the electric sander and do it myself. While he speaks, he turns on the shower, causing you to reel as ice-cold water splashes your scales. Brym just laughs, finally leaving you in peace. Once he's out of reach, you feel safe enough to adjust the water to something more reasonable. Torment notwithstanding, you find the shower relief. Sound of rushing water, the calming warmth. It all makes you wish you could stay here, under its cover, forever, free from the madness that surrounds you. But you know, Brym won't let you have the luxury, and to work scrubbing yourself off. When the water first struck you, it immediately ran off your body as a thick, brown swill. Now that you've started scrubbing yourself down, it's begun to clear up. The whole process goes along fine until you need to clean your more private regions, at which point you find yourself stricken with an errant thought. Just immediately rub one out, okay. There's something about the mere transgressive notion of doing something so foolish. It imbues you with a fresh, impish energy. Immediately. We're just gonna immediately jack off right next to him. Is he here in the same shower, or is he in the next stall in the reflection? Okay, buddy, jeez. You glance over to Brym. He's facing away from you, busy with his own hygiene. He'll never know. How will he never know? Literally how? Before you're even sure you want it, you feel a desperate need for it. You just have to do it. Rubbing your crotch, fueled by this, the music, severity of your own imminent sin, you easily get hard. Body soap as an ad hoc lubricant. You take yourself to the dark. You take yourself to the dark task. Wait, I was expecting the music to have those noises. But it's not enough. The thrill alone can't bring you to that desperate bliss. You need something else. Fantasize about Brym? Fantasize about literally anybody else. Abandon this terrible path. Alright, Brym, let's go. Oh my god. Okay. Brym is fucking obliterating him, is what's happening now. Probably won't be anything left of this screen at this point. You look over at the brute. He still hasn't noticed you. You take one look at his massive, powerful frame and find yourself twisting your past terror into some grotesque body ambition of lust. You failed me for the last time. There's only one thing left to do with you now. Fleeting images flood your mind of him on top of you in this very shower, violating you again and again with his, what you would imagine to be, massive dick. That does the trick. Your whole body shudders as you climax all over your hand. You feel lightheaded as you try to wash away the evidence of your most grievous crime. What if he just smells it? What are you gonna do? It all disappears into the drain, hidden by soap and the mucky water. You can't help but feel a little guilty after your transgression, though. It would have 0 to 100 fast. Okay. It was listed as a horror thriller, so I wasn't sure exactly what the tone was going to be. But so I wasn't ready for it to pivot to that quite this quickly. That's funny. After a while, it feels like you're just going through the motions, but the calming warmth is justification enough for you to persist. It's stopped only when Brym comes back over to turn off your water. Why is he running anything for me? He's already dressed? You've had enough. Someone's here to see you. You turn to him, but he throws a giant blanket-sized towel at you. After you take a moment to towel yourself down, you look over the changing area. It's Garreth again, with what appears to be a professional of some sort. The word medic comes to mind. Wrapped up in your towel like some lost child, you head over to them and sit down. While the medic looks you over, Brym heads out for a moment. You explain to them, to the best of your ability, about what you can remember, but everything before Garreth rescuing you is either a dreamlike blur or not there. They ask you a few questions, check your heartbeat, and then, with your consent, take a blood sample from you. By the time they're done, Brym is returned with a few oddities. As far as I can tell, you're perfectly fine. You just look tired. You sure? He nearly fell off a balcony on the VIP floor. I remember, a field, and a bird, and a door. They have no memory of getting there. My best guess is they were sleepwalking, but I can't remember anything about myself or my past. There's no external head trauma. Your heart is fine. I'll send the blood sample to town, but I don't imagine much will come up. If you want, we can set you up in the infirmary until we get the test results back. That won't be necessary. I'll keep an eye on him. If things get worse, I'll bring him over. If he's fine with that, then sure. You simply nod. Brym is the only one who seems to know anything about you. After all, with that... that seems to know anything about you after all. With that, the medic gets up and heads off. My sentences are falling apart. Stay out of trouble and away from balconies. Alright, well that's our 1 hour-ish, so that's probably it for today. That save interface. But is also curious. Oops. Browse user data. Main menu. New game. Fast forward. We have to hold it down. Oopsie. I didn't mean to do that. Oh shit. Does bad happen if you don't go- wait. What? That's interesting to peek at for a moment for y'all. Okay, so there's stuff going on if you don't take the door. That's curious. It said non-linear. That's one of the first words it describes is non-linear, and that makes me wonder. Like, completely different stuff happens if you don't do this. Where's the gym? I'm just shamelessly like, if you say fantasize about somebody else, who? The kobold? I was sure it was gonna be Garreth. Like, obviously, our character specifically was like, oh, look at this giant man. How did you get into the fucking kobold? Okay. You've bumped into quite a few other people on your way here. Any one of them would do. You find yourself thinking about the kobold lift attendant of all people? You made a mess of my elevator. Now I'm going to make a mess of you. Oops. Your mind is flooded with fleeting images, all of them focused on what terrible things a tiny firebrand might inflict on you. They've probably been here long enough to know a secret place to hide you. Their own little plaything. This character is so horny. Oh my goodness, that does the trick. Your whole body shudders, yep. And then it moves on. That's funny. I was sure it was gonna be Garreth. The fucking kobold, what a surprise. Alright, new game. Trapping door. Commit to the door. Fight for freedom. Do you die? And try to kick yourself free of their grip. Holy shit, man. Are you fucking suicidal? You calm down for a moment and get a glimpse. Calm down. Okay, they do get you. You nearly got yourself killed. And then you're back to it. Okay. I was curious if there was a bad end hiding there, but nope. This fucking kobold just burned his way into his subconscious, apparently. Alright, well this has been this game. If you are an adult who is adult, then you can check this game out via the link in the description on itch.io. And if you're not an adult, I said not to watch this video. What the fuck?